Story time.
Story time. It's time to tell a story. Come on, talk with Jess. Get a little closer. I want to talk to you guys. So, for those of you that know me, no, I don't smoke, drink, or do drugs. For those of you that don't know me, I don't smoke, drink, or do drugs. And outside this crazy world of social media, I work as a PPO, which is a fancy word for bodyguard. Okay. So, this past weekend, the agency called and said, hey, we got a client. They want you to pick him up, drive him around. It'll be 12 hours from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. He and his buddies. I said, okay, I don't like being called last minute, but I'll do it. And since it's last minute, I want the money at the end of the night. They said, no problem. Okay. So I get myself cleaned up, showered up, put on the black slacks, black shirt, black jacket, head out there, pick up the vehicle, which was this nice ass Tahoe. And then I head out to pick up the client, So I finally get to the client, I pick him up. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So he says, hey, I want to go to the gas station. I said, it sounds like a good idea because I'm going to use the restroom. So we get to the gas station. I go use the restroom. I get myself a Red Bull. He gets himself a Sprite. Okay, so he's going to wet his whistle. He got himself some Sprites and some rolling papers for, a recreational good time. Okay, so we get to driving. Mind you, this is 3 p.m. And he said, hey, I want to stop by the boot store. We stopped by this particular boot store. He goes in there and he buys himself some cowboy boots. He was in there for about 45 minutes to an hour. All right. So then from there, he said, hey, I want to stop by the Airbnb that me and my buddy is going to hang out with tonight. So we're going to go to the Airbnb. And he goes to the Airbnb first. He checks it out, puts his boots up. He stays in there for another 30 minutes or so. Then he comes back out. And then we go meet his buddies. We stop by his buddies on the other side, one of the main streets in Houston, Texas. And then, we meet him at the food truck. His buddy gets in the truck, and I realize his buddy has like this little sippy cup type bottle. His buddy also has a Sprite. Okay, now, again, these are all young guys because it seemed like every other word out their mouth was on God. And if I hear the words on God one more time, I'm probably going to my head's literally going to explode. Nevertheless, so they decide, they're going to start sipping some Sprite. Must have been some real good Sprite because they were sipping it slow. Okay. Then they proceeded to meet at the previous Airbnb where they all rented out. And then they decided that hey, we're going to go in, shower up, change over, smoke a little bit, which is fine. In this business, sometimes I'm like the transporter. I don't ask any question as long as nothing egregious is going on. Okay, so we leave from the initial Airbnb where they're going to stay at to meet with the rest of their friends where they're going to party at this other Airbnb. Now, by this time, they had been partying since about 3 this afternoon. It's about 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. Now, the party Airbnb was in 5th Ward, Texas, Houston, Texas. Didn't know 5th Ward and Airbnb go in the same sentence, but here we are. No offense, 5th Ward. But here we are. So we go there and hey, the party Airbnb, no one was there yet. So they said, you know what? We're going to go back to the gas station and get some ice. I said, fine, let's get some ice. I see a gas station there with a Burger King connected to it. I'm going to grab me something to eat. We go get some ice. Now, again, by this time, the entire vehicle is filled with this thick smoke. And here's why I say I don't smoke or drink, so this is something new to me. And I hear this running joke happening a lot, and I thought to myself, this could never be possible. Now, we go back to the party Airbnb, right? This is about 8 o'clock at night. We come across the intersections where this Airbnb is supposed to be. I'm getting ready to turn. I'm supposed to turn here. And again, this thick cloud of smoke was inside the vehicle. And, they, again, had been partying since 3. And this is about 8 o'clock at night. They were taking shots, drinking, smoking. Nobody was being harmed, just being the average 20-something-year-old guys. Okay? So we get to a stop sign. Okay, I'm supposed to turn. And this is embarrassing because, I sat at this stop sign for 2.5 minutes waiting for this damn thing to turn green. Okay, I waited for the stop sign to turn green. And I had to snap back into it because I'm on the drive. I'm like, wait a minute, you idiot, you're at a stop sign. So I go ahead and, I made my turn to get the client to his party destination. And here's the deal. He didn't even realize that we were sitting at a stop sign for like 2.5 minutes. Okay. Now, bring him to his party destination. I want to say about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. I go inside to check on him once I use the restroom. My client is just laid out on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, still in the street clothes. I'm like, hey, is he going to be okay? And I was like, yeah, he's good. He's taking a break from the party. All of his friends, young guys, young gals was there just partying, playing spades, dominoes, or whatever else. And then, as the night progressed, one by one, I saw each of the young lady and young gentlemen, they would leave the party and decide to go back to wherever they came from, their previous destination. Uh, my client wakes up at about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I ask him, hey, man, you okay? Is there anywhere else you want to go? He's like, no, man, I'm good. I think I'm going to go back to my Airbnb where I'm sleeping at. So I take the client back to his Airbnb with he and his friend, and I said, hey, are you gents good? And they both looked at me and kind of dreamy-eyed nodded and said, yeah, we're good. Thanks for the night. No one got harmed during that night. Everyone had a safe, fun time. But that's story time with Jess. I sat at a stop sign for 2.5 minutes. And before you go anywhere, make sure wherever you see this on video, on whatever platform you see this on, hit that like button, share button, follow button, subscribe button, whatever they want you to do. That way you see this face in your algorithm. You guys take care of yourself, stay safe, obey all traffic laws, don't sit at stop signs. Excellence over excuses.